Hello, hello, and good morning. I have just not long woken up. I'd say, well, to be honest, I've been up a lot of the night because it's really cold. So I thought now that the sun's came out, we could do a bit of reading, and thought that would be fun. So let's get started. Nonetheless, I tried my best to go forward with my application and finally found some help from a careers advisor, a truly incredible woman who did her best to help me and genuinely believed in me. But I still felt demoralised by my teacher, and sadly I did not apply that year. Thought that I had let my dream fade ate me away for a long time. For the rest of my academic year, my friends had asked me why I had not just done it, why I had not just found a way and believed in myself more. Reminded me that it was important for students like us to prove these teachers wrong and show the world what we were made of. Although it wasn't a direct rejection from the institution of Oxford itself, the no from my teacher and lack of faith in my abilities had done the job. The following year, a lot of things went wrong with our sixth form. Teachers falling ill, family issues, or leaving due to more promising job offers. We were given an endless string of replacement teachers, some lasting only 2 weeks, while others specialised in different subjects to the ones that they were teaching us. My friend Lauren and I still reminisce about how one of our teachers would tell us their dream job while they were in class teaching us. Lauren and I make bets before the class about how many times the teacher would mention their dream role. It genuinely became a game for us. Staying motivated in that environment became difficult, as it was clear that our on-again, off-again teachers were mainly concerned with just getting us to pass, rather than pushing us to our full potential. I also remember being placed in a class in which I had achieved an A grade the previous year, and then I was sitting next to a boy who had achieved a D grade, and our teacher therefore teaching us a C grade standard to ensure those in a lower grade pipeline were meant to secure a B or a pass grade. The decision meant no matter what I did in that class, my vision for an A star was not going to happen. I was not being taught at A star level. My friends and I felt we were doomed from ending up felt as if we were doomed and ended up hosting our own after school clubs, teaching ourselves the materials and praying that we made our sixth form with good grades. Things took a massive turn for the better when I was preparing for my end of year exams. This was when my unexpected moment of redirection came to me. I received an email from the Social Mobility Foundation telling me about a pioneering course that was happening at Lady Margaret Hall, Oxford University, called the Foundation Year. The programme was aimed at students who wanted to attend a place like Oxford, but felt that, because of external barriers, they could not. Every aspect of the email spoke to me in my situation, and I immediately felt compelled to apply. First thought that came to my mind was that I was extremely worried about wasting time, something that a different teacher at my college had warned me about when I explained my desire to now apply for the Oxford Foundation Year. She thought I was a bright girl who was wasting her time doing this course, when I could be starting my undergrad studies at Exeter immediately after my sixth form studies. You see, the small loophole with the foundation year is that it has no guarantee of progression onto the actual bachelor degree at Oxford. It was a year created to help prepare you for undergrad studies at many top UK universities and give you the support you missed out on during those sixth form years. Many people around me worried that what would happen after 1 year I didn't get in. Looking back now, I'm deeply saddened. It deeply saddens me that not taking the conventional route was considered a waste of time. It's a narrative preached onto so many young people via social media, or by figures of authority, as if there is only one way to live life, and anything outside is considered a waste. After hearing everyone's thoughts and deeply regretting not applying for Oxford the first time around, I decided to follow my heart and grab the opportunity that the universe was bringing to me. I spoke to my mum, my number one supporter, and she told me no matter what the outcome of my year at Oxford was, it could never be a waste of time. She told me stop being afraid of the unknown and learn to be flexible and grab opportunities when they present themselves. To me. To ignore those at church and at college who said I would be a year behind my peers, or that I was taking too much of a gamble by applying to something so new and pioneering, thing is, I deeply believe that anything you do that helps you to advance your skills, increase your knowledge, discover your passions, or explore different options is not a waste of time. If anything, these are some of the most valuable moments of your life. It's really important to take risks, try things out, and figure out what you want. It's how my mother and I saw it, and based on this logic, when that email fell into my inbox, I had to go overcome my fears and apply. Despite what those around me would think about the decision, acceptance into the program meant that I would become one of the 10 of the first students to undergo the very first foundation year at Oxford or Cambridge. I was about to go on to make history at one of the oldest universities in the world as the first black student to be accepted into Oxford throughout a foundation year, and I didn't even know it. The thing is, I deeply believe that anything you do helps you to advance your skills. It's just like a subtext. Okay. When the acceptance letter arrived, I was thrown off guard because I didn't really expect it. I was also living in a different time zone, deep in the woods of Pennsylvania. I was doing Camp America at the time. The phone connection was poor and I was desperately trying to get through to my mother who was in England. When she finally picked up, I cried to this day. I'm not sure why I was so overcome with emotion. I think I suddenly remember the journey I walked. From losing my father, my mother moving away, living with different family members who didn't want me, facing racism at school, my teacher telling me I wasn't good enough for a place like this and so much more. It felt in that moment like the universe had somehow reset the balance and the good was going to outweigh the bad. I call this my moment of redirection because the very decision to apply for the program literally changed the course of my life forever. The foundation year genuinely restored in my faith in my academic abilities and my passion for learning. They stripped everything back to the basics, so rather than writing an essay straight away, we were given access to a study skills guru, Dr. Margaret Coombe, who helped us learn how to actually write an essay to begin with. She taught us how to read an academic book, how to break down essay questions, and things of this nature. I know these things sound simple and intuitive, but you'd be surprised at what bad habits you can pick up throughout your academic journey. So starting from scratch can be extremely helpful. I still use the skills that I learned during my foundation year in 2016 to complete my work for my master's program. Full disclosure about my A-level results, I had unsurprisingly received B grades on my final year, something that I saw coming due to the lack of stability at our college that year. I was truly surprised I had not failed. At first, people at my church mocked me for not achieving A stars, as they believed that A's and A stars were the only acceptable grades for a smart student. But I chose to see my B grades as something beautiful. They were earned in a difficult environment, one that was not built to accommodate me fully, one that wanted to see me pass instead of excel. As I often say, I had been counted out of the race before it even started. My B's were earned through blood, sweat and tears while working at McDonald's, volunteering part-time, and dealing with a lineup of teachers that didn't understand me, or want to teach me as well. My B's are golden and phenomenal, and I continue to hold them with pride, honour, and utmost respect. I think knowing that the teaching side of things had not gone well may be the reason why I was so worried about my place on the foundation year. Hence, the tears of relief when I was accepted. The fear also came from knowing that if I lost my place at Oxford, I would lose my place at other institutions since they were asking for higher requirements than the foundation year. My personal statement, grades and passion earned me a place at the foundation year. My journey at Oxford University began on September 25th, 2016. Then I took a chance at making my future brighter. I had no idea that grabbing the foundation year opportunity would become a catalyst for so many incredible things that have happened to me now. As you know, the first chapter, attending Oxford gave birth to my YouTube channel and a thriving social media presence. I don't think these things would have happened if I hadn't followed my intuition. My time at university encouraged me to fight for diversity and inclusion because I faced a lack of it in very glaring ways. I met other students who were like-minded and our passion for equal opportunities drove us to advocate for access into education, and who knows, I may not be sitting here writing this very book you are reading now. Although my rejection didn't come from we regret to inform you that. From Oxford, it still impacted me in a similar way. The no from the teacher ironically became the fuel that I needed to go on and prove her wrong and prove myself right. I knew I was capable, and I knew I was smart. I just needed the right support and encouragement. And despite my hesitation and imposter syndrome, and when I first received that email at the foundation year, I knew deep down that this would be a life-changing opportunity that I needed to take. So what I'm saying to you is, whatever form of rejection you may receive on your journey, try and use it as fuel for your next move. Flip it on its head. Find the positive and use it as a jug for the lemonade you're about to make. See it as a moment to grow, try something else, and to come back even stronger and determined than ever. Taking the things you once thought were rejection or failure and framing them in a positive light is ridiculously important. Knowing that you have the power to do this is also an important part of the self-empowerment journey. Learn how to take control of moments that may initially have been out of your control. Consider what those moments taught you, how they prepared you for the next chapter of your life, and how they contributed to building your resilience, your character, and your strength. Failure is another chance to try again. The second part of my mantra, rejection is redirection, is that any form of failure is a chance to try again. The notion of trying again is slightly different to redirection. The latter requires patience and waiting for the moment when you're guided to something greater. The notion of trying again requires you to take direct action. When something you've created has been rejected, go away, work on it some more and try again. Think of the earlier examples of how the job interview or business plan is not going to plan. Another important point to note is that these ideas, plans, and business models are not you. These are things that you are creating, but they are not you. When things go slightly wrong and you need to readjust, that doesn't mean that you're inadequate. It simply means that the model needs reevaluating. I typically place the term failure in quotation marks because the older I've gotten, the more I've believed that there's no such thing as actual failure. I realise that this is a rather idealistic approach, however I stand by it. I think that every moment we experience perceived failure is the universe's way of telling us to rethink our model, idea, or plans. Essentially, any time that idea faces failure, it's because either you, the idea, or the timing may not just be correct. This isn't a form of failure in my eyes, rather a moment just to reevaluate, readjust, and try again. This requires a lot of resilience and perseverance. Whether your first plan doesn't work, it's important to bounce back and try again, but try again better. Bring new ideas to the table, take some risks, and give it your best shot. It's so easy to give up when things don't work out. Trust me, I've been there. But it's important to remember that by giving up, you're ending the story. True, you always have to try your best. And keep going, so if you want it that bad. You're giving up. The book is over at chapter 1. You must always be ready and willing to give yourself a whole and complete book of life. You deserve happiness, and happiness often takes effort, patience, and time. So refusing to try again when something fails is to deprive yourself of that opportunity to experience the things you love and care about. You must ask yourself, don't you want and deserve to see what could and will happen in chapter 2 of your story if you kept going? Yes. You may have to stay fresh, but you will never know what could be if you never truly try. I mean really try, like sticking at it for a while despite the knockbacks. It's important to see yourself as the driver of the boat in your life. You decide which way to steer, and if there are harsh winds, find a new route and stay on track to your destination. Practical steps to reframe and rejection as redirection and seeing failure as another chance of try again. I'm stuttering so bad. Sorry guys. Separate yourself from the product of the goal. When you detach your self-worth from the goal, you'll make the process of accepting the moment of rejection much easier. By doing this, you're already setting yourself up for the redirection. It also helps you see it as something to learn from, to use it as a source of strength. Break down your ideas, plans, and business pitches into smaller steps and sections. This will help ensure that you are molding as you go along. So if something doesn't work or you face rejection, it's far easier to retrace your steps and adjust as you go. It can be disheartening throwing out an entire idea. Speak to yourself the way you would to someone you love and care about. Whenever something doesn't go according to plan, before you tell yourself you're not worthy or that you've failed as a person, ask yourself this question. Would you say the same thing to your younger cousin? Would you genuinely see that them not getting an offer at their dream year university as a reflection of them and their character? Would you tell your friend to give them a stop trying after not getting the job they wanted? I hope the answer to these questions is no. If so, then why would you ever think of yourself in such a way? The answer to that one is, you shouldn't. Like I said earlier, it's absolutely crucial that you detach yourself, personally, from the outcome of your goal. The goal cannot be what you base your self-worth on. Therefore, whenever a moment of perceived failure or rejection occurs, treat yourself the same way that you would someone you care for. The important thing is not allowing that emotion of being rejected to become you or try to control you. Feel it, reframe it, dust yourself off, and then try again. Have accountability partners, people who you trust, and who are honest with you, and have your best interests in heart. I have a few friends that I trust with my ideas and believe they will always give me honest and constructive feedback because they care about me. I trust in my friends and family members no matter what, and I know that they want to see me happy. But they also want to see me do well. When I present my ideas to them, they will tell me the constructive truth. Having this form of support will help you get used to hearing the flaws in your plans and ideas and build up your resilience. This will help you if you need to take some time away to readjust your ideas. This way, you will be willing to try again and not see it as a reflection of you. Your accountability partners should also help you remain focused on your goal and not allow you to give up. They should become your second, third, and fourth pairs of eyes and ears on your projects and help you brainstorm and innovate. Whenever I go to my friends with an idea, they help me stop downplaying my ideas. They push me and create safe spaces for me in which I can bounce my ideas off them without feeling judged or crazy. We'll cover more about this in the Lean on Them chapter at page 92. If you have people like this in your life, open up to them. Let them support you, and I promise it will help you on your journey. Seek other opportunities. In the same breath as having accountability partners, if you really feel what you are pursuing is no longer for you, do not be afraid to reach out to your network and seek new opportunities. As stated by Mrs. Michelle Obama, the journey of becoming does have a definitive end. It's not about you discovering yourself, things you like and do not like. It's if that rejection is also okay, just as long as it's not based simply on the fact that it was rejected. Perhaps the rejection highlighted you are not so passionate about the product, or that there is something else that you want to pursue. This is all okay, just as long as you take control of your life and do what feels right. 6. Trust the process. You might spend months applying for jobs and get rejected from 50 before you land your dream one, hopefully with a dream salary too. Imagine if you had given up at rejection number 48, or took a random offer because you were tired of trying. You'd have missed out on what was right for you. Essentially, don't just trust the process, trust your process. I know it's much easier said than done, as is much of the advice I give, but trust me, it's true. Your process will not become the same as someone else's. It's your journey. Just because that particular route worked out for Lucy down the road does not mean it will for you too. Well, and vice versa. Yes, there is things you could do in the meantime, whether it's tune up your CV again or brushing up on your hard and soft skills. But overall, you must trust your process and your time. Overall, just please remember that you are human. It's inevitable that we'll make some mistakes in our work, and that our plans may have some flaws. This is normal. It's common for your ideas to have changed and remodeling 10 times before they are launched or accepted. You're most likely reading the 707th draft of this book. Just kidding, it's not that many, but it sure does feel like it. It's normal to face rejection a few times before picking things up. What matters is that you try again and try harder. To reach your end goal is incredible, but to embrace the process and journey is even better. This is where the learning will really happen and where your strength will be built. So repeat after me. Rejection is redirection, and failure is another chance to try again. Okay. That's perfectly timed for 20 minutes of video. The ending of that chapter is what I'm going to end it on. I hope the view is nice for you, although it is really hard to get it in shot. And sorry if I read too quick again, I probably do. I hope that everyone's having a great morning, evening, or night. And I hope that everyone can sleep well. And I hope that you all have an amazing day. And I'll see you all in the next one.